Hello students, welcome back to the session. So today we are going to do this chapter which is 1.5, Joan of Arc. Okay. George Bernard Shaw 1856 till 1950 was an Irish playwright and critic. He wrote more than 60 plays during his lifetime, including major works such as Man and Superman, which was in the year 1902, Pygmalion, which was in the year 1912, and Saint John, which was in the year 1923. He was the leading dramatist of his time. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. So let us see the history of George Bernard Shaw. Fine. He was an Irish playwright and critic. Now, what do you mean by playwright? The one who writes plays. Okay. And critic is someone with a great knowledge. That a person who has a lot of opinion and जिनको टिप्पणी मारने की आदत होती है, जिनको अपने ओपिनियन शेयर करने की आदत होती है, उसे हम बोलते हैं क्रिटिक. ओके. सो ये ही वाज वेरी पॉपुलर ड्यूरिंग हिज टाइम. ओके. जैसे विलियम शेक्सपियर के बाद जिनके नाम आते थे उनमें इनका एक नाम आता था. तो ही वाज very popular among those times. Okay, so he had written 60 plays, out of which these three, the Man and Superman, Pygmalion and Saint John, was his highly recommended one, or yeah, which were highly famous. वो सारे ये तीन थे. He was awarded with the Nobel Prize. Now let us see the background of this chapter. इसके पहले I like to share some of the information which I have found out, and later on we will see the one which is written in the paragraph. Okay, so now the chapter says Joan of Arc. So who was Joan of Arc and what did she do? Let us see this information first so that you'll understand what it was all about. Of Arc, pronounced, nicknamed the Maid of Orleans. Okay, अभी यहाँ पे भी there is this thing, Orleans. It is a French word but is pronounced as Orléans. Okay, so the perfect pronunciation of Orleans is Orléans. Okay, so she was named as the Maid of Orleans, is considered a heroine of France for her role during the Lancastrian phase of the 100 Years' Wars, and was canonized as a Catholic saint. Okay, she was born to Jacques d'Arc and Isabelle Rome, a peasant family at Dombrun in northeast France. So what basically it was कि उस टाइम पे the period 1412 से 1431, the वो जो 14th वाला जो century था ना, उस टाइम पे what was the thing, that entire France was under the control of British. Okay, so there was this girl who was known as Joan of Arc, जिनका नाम Jeanne d'Arc था. Okay, so she was the one who was almost उस time पे 17 to 18 years of age, and she was someone who was very firm that anyhow I have to remove these Britishers, I have to remove them out and make my France an independent country. I don't want someone to rule this country. So she had this firm thought in her mind. She was rarely like 17 to 18 year at that time. Okay, so she was born in a peasant family. Peasant is like a farmer or a agriculture worker, right? Basically a farmer. So she was born in a farm worker family. तो एट दैट टाइम शी हैड अ फर्म विजन कि उसके थॉट्स क्लियर थे. ओके, सो यहाँ पे उनके मॉम डैड का भी नाम दिया है. John claimed to have received visions of Archangel Michael, Saint Margaret and Saint Catherine of Alexandria, instructing her to support Charles VII and recovered France from the English domination late in the 100 Years' War. ठीक है, एक्चुअली 100 years नहीं चला था. that war was continuously like for 120 or 25 years. They had given over here as 100 years. So what did she always say? That everyone used to ask her that how is your vision so clear and how you are so firm about it, and how she wants to contribute to the country to make a country an independent one. So she always used to say that these three saint people, who were they? Archangel Michael, Saint Margaret and Saint and Catherine. So these three were the one who she used to say कि ये लोग आके they come into my dreams and they help me. They tell me what to do further, what to do next, and they have given all of the instructions to me, and that is why I'm so sure that I anyhow need to remove Britishers from the France essay. And she said that these three people, they come in my dreams and they said me to support Charles VII, and that is how I can remove Britishers from France. Okay, so yeah, this is how the story was. That Joan of Arc, she was a little 17-18-year-old girl who was born in a family of farmers, and she had a vision clear that she anyhow has to remove the Britishers from the France, and she wanted the France to be an independent country. Sometimes this was the basic history. I thought of sharing it with you all so that further chapter becomes easy to understand. Now, before starting, let us see the background of the conversation. Like, this conversation was basically between four people, and that was a huge and an informative one, and that is why it is a part of your chapter. Okay, so let us see what was the conversation all about. The war fought between England and France from 1337 to 1453 has come to be known as the 100 Years' War. Okay, so as I said you earlier, the 1337 से लेके 1453, the war which was fought for 100 years, so that was known as an 100 years war का period था वो पूरा 100 years war. Joan was a peasant girl born in eastern France who led the French army to several victories during this war. Okay, so she was a peasant girl, normal girl who was born in a peasant family, and she was the one who led the French army. Okay, who led the French army. Now, a 19-year-old girl leading the French army, and she also made victories during this war. That she was an amazing person. There is also a movie, Joan of Arc, and you can watch that movie to get further information about the same. This play begins at the time when all of the northern France and some part of the southwest were under foreign control. Okay, so some part of France was under foreign control. The English controlled some part of the Burgundians controlled the others. The city of New Orleans, one of the few remaining French cities, was held by the English. So Orleans was one of the part which was under the British rule, and अगर ये part भी अगर उनके पास चला जाता, so the entire France would be ruled by them. So that is how John wanted to win the Orleans wala war, so that she हार ना मान जाए. वैसे कि ये एक जो पार्ट बचा हुआ था विच वॉज ओनली अंडर देयर कंट्रोल, वो उनको नहीं लूज़ करना था वैसा. French cities was held by the English, and remaining French cities was held by the English. The year in 1429, Captain Robert de Baudricourt, a military officer, is seated at the table. His steward stands facing him. Okay, so the Captain Robert de Baudricourt, a military officer, उस टाइम पे कन्वर्सेशन हो रहा है उनके बीच में, द रॉबर्ट के बीच में, and his steward stands facing him. Now what do you mean by steward? Steward is basically the one who works for you. Okay, तो उनके बीच में ये बात चल रहा है. Now let us see what was the conversation all about. So Robert is saying to steward, I told you to throw this girl out. You have 50 armed soldiers and dozen of strong servants to carry out my orders. Are they afraid of her? So what he's saying, that I said you to please throw this girl out. You have a lot of army, you have a lot of soldiers, you have a lot of weapons. Aren't they enough for you? I say, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of her? वैसे. So what Stewart is saying, no sir, we are afraid of you, but she puts courage in us. She really doesn't seem to be afraid of anything. Perhaps you could frighten her, sir. तो उसको रॉबर्ट ने क्या पूछा कि आर यू अफ्रेड ऑफ हर, आप लोग क्या उससे डर रहे हो क्या? तो व्हाट डज स्टीवर्ट सेड, नो वी आर नॉट अफ्रेड ऑफ हर, वी आर अफ्रेड ऑफ यू. और वो तो एक ऐसी लड़की है जो किसी से नहीं डरती. शी इज़ नॉट स्केयर्ड ऑफ एनी वन. सो व्हाट स्टीवर्ट इज सेइंग, यू कैन बी दैट पर्सन हु कैन मेक हर फ्राइटन, या आप उसको डरा सकते हो वैसा. Robert Grimly is seriously. Robert क्या बोलता है? Perhaps. Where is she now? Steward, down in the courtyard, sir. Robert goes to the window and asks the soldier to send the girl up. Okay, so when Steward said that you can be the person जो उसको डरा सकते हैं, तो Robert, gave orders to bring that girl upstairs. The girl enters. Now this girl is the one we are talking about, the Joan. She is a well-built, strong country girl of 17 to 18 years. The squire's glare neither frightens her nor stops her. Okay, the squire's glare. Squires मतलब क्या? A person of high rank. Okay, तो उसके सामने कोई भी person हो, whether it is a person who is very renowned, who is very famous, or one who is very intelligent. The squire's glare is a sight, या उसको देखना वैसे. Neither frighten her nor stops her. मतलब she is someone who never gets frightened by anyone, be it a soldier, be it the strong person, or one who's intelligent, one who's king. She's never afraid of anyone. वैसे the squire's glare neither frightens her nor stops her. So anyone जो भी सामने हो उसके, वो उनसे डरती भी नहीं है, ना कोई उसको रोक सकता है. She speaks confidently. See, a 17 to 18 years speaking confidently to a person who's in front of you, who's very scholar, who's very intelligent. So that was a great thing. John, good morning, Captain Squire. You are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to Dauphin. Okay, तो वो directly उनको बोल देते that you are the one who will provide me a horse and an armor. Armor is like a coat. See, the meaning is given. It is like a protective clothing of metal which normally soldiers wear during wars. And some soldiers and send me to Dauphin. Now what do you mean by Dauphin? Dauphin is like the oldest son of France. मतलब basically it is like the one who would become king after the father. Like वो system रहता है ना, once the king dies उसका बेटा king बनता है वैसे. So that is called as Dauphin. Okay. So what Robert is saying, this girl is mad. Why didn't you tell me so? You blockhead. वैसा. A blockhead is like a stupid person. So like 17-18 years asking for soldiers and wars and horses. So anyone would say that she's a mad person. वैसा. Steward, sir, do not anger her. Give her what she wants. So Steward is saying that you just give what she wants. What is she demanding? Just fulfill her demands. Robert, I shall send you back to your father with orders to put you under lock and key. So he's telling to John that I'll send you back to your father and you will be locked. John, you think you will, Squire, but it won't happen that way. So she's telling that you think that you will send me to my father and I will be locked, but that won't happen. You said you would not see me, but see, here I am. So वो वही बोलते that you said that you won't see me further, but you are seeing me and here I am. So I don't think so कि आप जो बोल रहे हो that you will send me to my father and lock me, that would happen. Robert, so you are assuming that I'll give you what you want. The Robert is saying, so you are assuming that you are thinking that I'll give whatever you are asking me. John, yes, Squire, continues busily. What do you mean by busily? Busily is very active way. So she was very active and she replied in an active way, giving a proper respect to Robert. She said a horse will cost 16 francs. Now what do you mean by francs? Francs is like a rupee type. जैसे हमारे इंडिया में कैसे रुपी होता है, वैसे francs is basic unit of money which is used in France. It is a big amount of money, but I can save it on the armor. So what does she say? That the horse will cost me 16 francs. It is a huge amount, so I'll save it. You just provide me the horse. For armor I'll manage. I don't need beautiful armor made to my measure. I can find a soldier's armor that will fit me well enough. I shall not want many soldiers. So she's just saying, you just provide me horse. For the armor, don't spend much money. I'll use any of the armor used by any of the soldiers and just send me. And I also don't require many soldiers with me. Vesa. The Dauphin will give me all I need to free Orleans. So what does she says? That the Dauphin will provide me everything. The Dauphin is the one who's about to become king after the father dies. Robert, shock, to free Orleans. John, simply, yes, squaw. 3 men will be enough for you to send with me. Polly and Jack have promised to come with me. Okay, so what is she telling? That only 3 men are enough, and a horse armor I'll manage. So only this much is something which I'm asking you for. Robert, you mean Monsieur the Polingi? John, yes, squaw. Yes, Squaw Jack will come willingly. He's a very kind gentleman and gives me money to give the poor. Okay, so the monsieur was about to accompany her. So she's telling that he's a very kind person. He always gives me money to give to the poor person. I think John Godsave will come and dig the acre, and the servants John of Horncourt and Julian. There will be no trouble for you, squire. I have arranged it all. You have only to give the order. So she's telling, I've arranged all. I know all the 3 people who are coming with me. You just have to arrange for horse. Armor also I'll manage, and you just give me orders, and thus I'll go further to save Orleans. Robert, to the steward, is this true about Monsieur the Polingi? So he wasn't sure that is she telling truth? Is the Monsieur about to accompany her? So steward says eagerly that yes, sir, and about Monsieur the men's too. They both want to go with her. So the steward said, yeah, they said that they want to accompany her, they want to go with her. Robert goes to the window and shouts in the courtyard, send Monsieur the Polingi to me. Will you? He turns to John. तो पहले वो विंडो के पास जाके ऑर्डर देता है कि जो मॉन्शियर है उसको send them upstairs, and then he moves towards John, and then he moves towards her and says, get out and wait in the yard. Yard is basically a place next to a palace or a building. So what he says that please you can just move to the ward and I'll talk to Monsieur the Polingi. John, smiling brightly at him, right, squaw. She goes out. Now Robert to the steward, go with her, stay within call, and keep your eye on her. I shall have her up here again. So what he's saying that you also go with her, keep your eye, and then I'll call you guys back again. The steward retreats hastily. Retreat hastily is to move in a hurry. Where was I? Yeah. Bertrand the Polingi, a French guard, enters, salutes, and stands waiting. Robert, she says you, Jack and Dick have offered to go with her. What for? Did you take her crazy ideas of going to the Dauphin seriously? So Robert was completely shocked that she is like a 17 to 18 years old girl, and she has all of those thoughts in her mind, and all of you guys are also accompanying her. Are you true? Are you guys crazy? Like, why you are supporting her thoughts? Vesa. Polingi, slowly, there is something about her. It may be worth trying. So he's telling that there is something about this girl. She has that leadership quality with herself, and there's something about we should give her a try. Vesa. Robert, oh come on, Polly, you must be out of your mind. Robert was like a practical man. He's saying, how can a 17-18-year-old girl lead an army? How is that possible? Vesa. Robert, okay, Polingi, unmoved. What is wrong with it? The Dauphin is in Chinon, like a rat in the corner, except that he won't fight. Okay, so he's telling the Dauphin is in Chinon. Now, what do you mean by Chinon? Like, वहाँ पे meaning दिया है. It is one of the cities in France where royal family resides. Okay, so where the family resides, it is like a one of the place. And during the 100 Years' War, the Dauphin took refuge in Chinon. The refuge is like a stay. The Dauphin tha, the one who was about to become the king after his father died, he was like a डरपोक type का person. वो वहाँ पे जाके छुप गया था. He was staying there. अब whether it is a king or a person who's ruling at that time, whenever a country is facing any of these situations when you are under someone control, you need to fight within themselves, fight for them. But यहाँ का जो Dauphin था, he was like डरपोक के जैसे सा वहाँ पे जाके बैठ गया था. So he's also telling that the Dauphin is hiding like a rat in the corner, and he won't fight. He's a डरपोक, he won't fight. The English will take Orleans. He'll not be able to stop them. ये वो वही बोल रहे, he's sitting there enjoying there, and the Britishers would take all of the Orleans and he won't be able to stop them. Robert, he bet the English the year before last at Montargis. I was with him. तो वो वही बोल रहा है, but bet the English, he said that he would not allow them to take control over him, and he's saying that I was also with them when he took that bet. वैसा जब उसने bet किया, वैसे challenge किया. Paulingi, but his men are cowed, and now he can't work miracles. And I tell you that nothing can save our side now but a miracle. So what Paulingi is saying, that his men are cowed. Cowed is frightened. जो ये है अपना डॉफिन है, उसके जो मेंस है, दे आर काउड, दे आर फ्राइटेन, एंड नो वन वुड हेल्प अस, एंड ओनली अ मिरेकल कैन हेल्प अस नाउ टू गेट Orleans free from Britishers. Robert, miracles are all right, Polly. The only difficult about them is that they don't happen nowadays. That he's saying that miracles and all is right at your point, but the problem is miracles don't happen these days, Vesa. Paulingi, I used to think so. I'm not so sure now. There is something about her. I think the girl herself is a bit of a miracle. Anyhow, this is our last chance. Let's see what she can do. So what Paulingi is saying, that yeah, I also know that miracles doesn't happen and they don't work and all of them is true, but I think there's a miracle in this girl, and I think we should trust her. Vesa. Robert, wavering is hesitating. You really think that? Paulingi, turning, is there anything else left for us to think? Let's take a chance. Her works have put fire into me. Have put fire into me is like inspired her. So Robert Paulingi is saying that we don't have any chance. The dauphin is scared, the workers are scared, the servants are scared, everyone is scared to fight. So let us give her a chance now. Let's trust her. And I think there's a miracle in her and she will definitely help us. Robert, giving up. Woo, you are as mad as she is. So what he's saying, that you are also as mad as she is. So what Paulingi is saying, obstinately. What do you mean by obstinately? Obstinately is like in a stubborn, ziddi tarike se, and in a firm manner and in a sure way, that we want a few mad people now. See where the same ones have landed us. So he's telling that that's fine. If you think we are mad, it's fine. We have to fight, Vesa. That it's fine if you're considering me as a mad person. Robert, I feel like a fool. Still if you feel sure. So he's telling that I don't think so giving a chance to like a 17-18 old girl to lead the way is right, but are you sure? Are you still sure about it? Paulingi, I feel sure enough to take her to Chinon unless you stop me. So it's like, I'm definitely sure. Unless you are stopping me, I am taking her. Robert, do you think I ought to have another talk with her? So he's telling that now there's no use of talking to her, Vesa. Paulingi, going to the window. Yes, John, come up. Then John enters. Now what Paulingi says gravely is seriously. Be seated, John. And then they come, and then they ask, okay, they have decided that okay, चलो ठीक है, अब क्या करना है, जॉन को बुलाते वैसे. एंड देन जॉन कम्स अपस्टेयर्स. रॉबर्ट, व्हाट इज़ योर नेम? John, they always call me Jenny and Lauren. Here in France, I am John. The soldiers call me the maid. So they call John, and then they are asking that what is your name, and she's telling that in Lauren they used to call me Jenny, but now over here they call me John, and the servants over here call me, the soldiers call me the maid. Okay, for this session we will keep this much only. Now what John says to Robert, what is the further conversation, is something which we'll see in the next session. Till then, bye bye and take care. I hope you have understood the story, the theme, the background behind the chapter. Chalo, we'll see you all in the next session. Till then, bye bye and take care. Bye.